strong.
Welcome back to another Dogecoin video on Crypto for Freedom. If you guys like the content, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the charts. Okay, you guys, jumping in on the weekly chart for Dogecoin, you can see that this 15-cent level has been a very critical level of support that was flipped from resistance over here in the bear market. Once we dropped down below this level, we found resistance a couple times. This kind of broke out as a deviation, but once we finally broke out of that, Dogecoin has been back testing this multiple times. If we zoom in on the chart, you can see that Dogecoin actually tested this level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And it seems like, you know, it can only hold on to this level for so long before it possibly breaks down below this level. So I have been getting pretty bearish on Dogecoin considering the amount of time that has elapsed in the bull market. So if you guys want to see my price prediction for where I think Dogecoin is going to be going into next year, make sure to stick around to the end of the video. Now, as you can see, Dogecoin finds a peak and then goes into this descending parallel channel here to make a new bear market. And that pattern has happened multiple times throughout the past. Here's the second example of it. And once we break out of that, we go on to our bull run. And I think the top for Dogecoin was in back over here in October of 2024. Now, to me, it seems like Dogecoin is making this parallel channel again here. And we were looking at this as a ascending parallel channel that actually broke out to the downside here. And if we zoom in on the daily chart, you can see it actually broke out and then back tested this level as resistance already one time right here. And going back on the weekly chart, now that we've broken out of our ascending parallel channel, we've actually just continued downwards in our descending parallel channel, which is, I believe, our bear market channel. And if we're going to actually get bullish, that means in the short term, in the next couple weeks, Dogecoin is going to have to break back over 25 cents. And to see any sort of higher prices this cycle, maybe there's a relief rally for Bitcoin, and Dogecoin is going to break back above 25 cents and go on to higher prices. But it's looking less and less likely. The more time elapses, the more time-based capitulation happens in the market where people just get fed up and sell out of their positions. Now, for me, I did actually sell out of my Dogecoin, most of my Dogecoin position, because we have seen 540 days past the halving for Bitcoin. And this tends to happen every single 4-year cycle where we have the yellow line here as the halving. And then we've seen 540 days past the halving to see the top of the market for Bitcoin. And it's happened over and over and over again in the past. And the trend is your friend until the end. So I'm going to keep following the trend. So what does that mean for Dogecoin? Jumping back to the Dogecoin chart, you know, you can see that we're now in this descending parallel channel. And I think that, you know, we could stay in this for a very long time. Once we got in this channel, Dogecoin stayed in this channel for 890 days. And I believe the same is true for the last cycle as well. Once we got into this channel, 910 days. So a very similar amount of time. So does that mean we're going to be in this channel for 910 days before Dogecoin sees a breakout? I think it's very likely that from October 2029 all the way to 890 days past that, we're going to see Dogecoin in this descending channel, coming as low as a 90% retracement down to like 4 to 5 cents, or possibly as low as, 70 or 80% retracement down to 9 cents. But I think it is pretty likely that in the short to medium term, we are actually going to fill this wick right here and just continue down and fill this wick. Maybe we'll have a relief bounce and then come back up, something like this, and then come down. And I think that's pretty likely. And maybe we even come up to, the top of this channel one more time. If there's some sort of relief bounce for Bitcoin, but that's also somewhat unlikely. And I think Bitcoin is still going to outperform Dogecoin in the short to medium term. Now, I also found this other bearish megaphone pattern on the chart, and it looks something like this and like this. And this is a bearish megaphone pattern. When the price comes into the pattern from the top side, it's a bearish megaphone pattern with one touch here. And, well, I guess we have one touch there, two, three, one touch to the downside. So that's two touches to the downside, three to the top side. And I think we could be coming all the way back down to the bottom here to fulfill this bearish megaphone pattern, and possibly breaking out below that. So it's just really time to be careful, you guys. You just have to realize that there is a bear market resistance line here now, in my opinion, that, is kind of descending over time. So we could end up just seeing a lower and lower Dogecoin all the way out here until basically May of 2027. And that kind of lines up with the 7-year cycle theory that says that, Dogecoin is going to continue losing value against Bitcoin for 7 years, just like it did in the first 7 years of its lifespan. This chart here that I've been talking about, that lines up with, somewhere over here that we see a breakout for Doge against Bitcoin. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at, you guys. We could end up seeing some lower prices for Dogecoin and for other cryptos. I mean, Bitcoin really is the king here. So unless, Bitcoin's able to somehow miraculously break this 4-year cycle trend and head to the upside, which I think is pretty unlikely at this point. It seems like, Bitcoin is going to end up coming down and finding a bottom over here and filling up the bottom of this channel over here that we're creating here. So I also wanted to give you guys one last little bit of bullish hopium before I got out of here. And that's that's kind of looking at the 200-week moving average here for Dogecoin. And you can see right before the last bull run, Dogecoin was sitting right at the 200-week moving average right here. And now we're still sitting at the 200-week moving average. Haven't really broke below it. So if the price does end up breaking below the 200-week moving average, and we see this line kind of extend or start coming down, and we can't hold this 200-week moving average, that's pretty much going to be my confirmation that Dogecoin is in a bear market. And we saw it happen back over here in 2022. And breaking below this 200-week moving average. So that's going to be my confirmation that Dogecoin is in fact in a bear market. So just keep an eye out for that. If you guys like the content and you guys like the message I'm trying to bring here with Crypto for Freedom, make sure to subscribe to the channel, smash the likes to help with the algorithm. Go down and check out all the links below in the description for all my playlists. And just remember that none of this is financial advice. You should always do your own research and begin with the end in mind. That means having an emergency fund, being debt free, and having multiple streams of income coming in at all times to protect your assets, you guys, because crypto is a long-term asset and you got to be in it for the long term to get rich. You can't get rich in it overnight. In my opinion, it takes 8 to 10 years to get rich in crypto. So make sure to do your own research, you guys, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.